Tehachapi time. Maya Acosta joined today by some members of TVRPD and a fitness enthusiast here locally. I've got Sarah E. Diaz with the Tehachapi Parks and Recreation District and Rodes Phire, who's one of our fitness coaches here locally, who's been doing a really fun, new and exciting class on the weekend. So we're going to get all into it, talk all things fun and fitness. So thank you both for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thanks, Maya. Thanks, Sari.
Thank you.
All right. So before we get into anything, do we have any TVRPD events coming up that people can put on their calendar if they haven't heard of it yet?
Well, I mean, the next one, the big one,
Yes.
which was mentioned here earlier this month, the Fishing Derby, May 18th. So there's still a lot of spots. You can register now, or if you're just waiting on something, we have registrations open up until May 18th. You can register at Bright Lake. So other than that, we have arena, we have Zumba going on Wednesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays at both at Central Park. We have our Memorial Day ceremony coming up May 27th. I mean, it's a lot of events coming up.
Can I ask about this fishing derby?
Yeah. So from what I know on my end, I'm not a part of it. Taylor, she's done a phenomenal job. So this fishing derby is, there will be a whole bunch of tagged fish out at Bright Lake, which is on your way to Stallion or on your way to Bear Valley. We have this gorgeous lake, and there are going to be tons and tons of tagged fish. And so you're out there at like 6 a.m. fishing already for these tagged fish. And if you catch the big one, you can win some big bucks. And not only is it on that day, but the last weigh-in will be, I think, at 1:05 that day. But you can still catch some tagged fish throughout that month. And maybe win some cool prizes throughout the month. But the big derby is on May 18th.
I told you, my family's from Kansas. Yeah. My grandpa had a boat. I learned how to fish when I was 8.
You want to come?
I do. I want to get like my uncles involved, and then I want to beat them all and get the biggest fish.
Let's do this. I'll register you after.
Yes.
I love it. So if you're listening and want to sign up for that fishing derby, tvrpd.org, right?
Yes.
.org.
Yeah.
And you can find all the information there along with their events. But I'm super curious to learn more about the wonderful classes that Rodes has to offer. So Rodes, thanks for coming in. If people listening have never heard of you and your classes, give us kind of a rundown on what it is you do.
I teach fitness that's predominantly designed for women. Although most of my training has been very masculine. I taught kickboxing and studied martial arts. I got to study at the famous Inosanto studio. So Dan Inosanto is the only man who learned from Bruce Lee how to teach his martial arts and accompaniment to that. I have trained in all kinds of different things since I was a baby. I was an athlete. I played water polo in college. So my whole life I've been active and moving. And then when I started in 2018, I started my own company. Professionally, I'm a filmmaker. And it was paramount that I needed some sort of fitness to accompany that kind of hectic, stressful lifestyle. And of course, then you're like, okay, God. And it's like, cue, close the world, please. Close the world. So it only got more stressful. And it was during that time that I was teaching kickboxing, not only as my form of fitness, but as an extracurricular hobby. And I had such great rapport and such great relationships with the women in the classes that my husband and I moved to Bear Valley Springs in 2020. And I was looking for something up here. And then, of course, with the stress, my father had a stroke and the world had closed. And I don't know about you guys, but it was like, close world, add more wine to the to the cellar. So we ended up having these lifestyles that were really heavy with stress, and our movement was taken away from us. And that level of stress and that level of inactivity, I gained a lot of weight. And you guys know, like, gaining weight as a woman is a lot of fun.
Not fun.
It really is. You start looking at your clothes, and I mean, thank God the world was wearing sweatpants and it was like really in style, but it didn't feel good. I began talking. I I was working with my community. So a lot of my personal trainers, a lot of my friends, a lot of my network was in LA. And I began talking to them about how to create movement. We were doing Zoom classes. I was doing online stuff. And then I thought more and more about how I can't do as a woman the same things that I've always done because it was being counterproductive for my stress level and my hormones. Right. So I'm in this stressed out state and I'm like, I've got to save the world. I didn't really have to save the world, but it's kind of how it felt, you know? Yeah. And my hormones are going all over the place and I'm working out a ton. I'm going to the doctors and they're just like, I don't know what to tell you. You're in your 40s. Welcome to the new world. And I was like, no. So I deep dived a little bit into how to move as a woman, how to move as somebody with high stress levels, how to be a little bit more patient with your body, but then also how to do finalize with metabolic conditioning. So we start the movement, we start the entire workout with breath work. When I was in Los Angeles and during the trainings on the bags, everybody had to wear masks. And if you did any kind of movement from walking to your car with a mask on, it was stressful, right? So now imagine you're hitting this 100-pound bag with a mask on. You can't breathe. Right. It's like carbon monoxide all over the place. And so I began to teach these 45-minute classes with, hey, everybody, let's do some box breathing. Let's really get a hold and get deeply connected with ourselves and breathing and calming down and communicating to our body, I'm in control here. This is okay. And then we'll gradually move the heart rate through the different zones so that we can control it. You'll notice that a lot of times when fitness professionals or trainers have you work out, they'll say, okay, you go really hard and then you take a minute break. Well, that minute break is to bring your heart rate back down. It's to get into those high aerobic states and then say, okay, let's draw back so that we can do it again. You don't want to stress your body out too much because then it's counterproductive to the movement. So we start out with breathing, then we move into some affirmation or just some kind of like, hey, I'm here. I'm right here. I'm not doing the laundry. I'm not worrying about the kids. I'm not going to add to the grocery list for my husband. I'm right here. And for the next 45 minutes, I'm going to move. Then I love this part because I am a huge advocate of fun fitness. Right? When we were little, it'd be like recess and we would yell and scream and run outside and play. Lunch, after school, we did everything with high energy. And then as we get older and we're sitting at a computer all day, it's like, you know, working out. I have to move. I'd rather just move to the couch. So I brought in the trampoline. And one of the reasons that I really liked the trampoline and I found it crucial to kind of my hormone and lymphatic system repair was because it is a gentle way to move and stimulate the system. So for about 18 minutes, we jump on professional fitness trampolines. Now, these are bound with really high-end, high-tech bungee cords. There's a ton of them. And then I also have the bars, so you're not like flipping off of it or breaking an ankle. And we do all kinds of just fun, coordinated jumping on the trampoline, which is great for the lymphatic system, which is kind of like your sewage system. You know, it drains everything out. After that, we oscillate between jumping on the trampoline and actually grabbing medium to heavy weights just to do, you know, the conditioning that we all need of building the muscles, tearing the muscles, but not going too extreme. We finish with what I like to call the metabolic conditioning, and that's where we're going to drive the heart rate up. We're going to get into the aerobic zone. Most of our fitness or most of our workout is really confined in that 135, that middle zone. So it's known as the fat burning zone. Fat burning zone, or underneath that, I like to call it the jogging zone or the yoga zone. Those zones are great, but that cardio or that burn of calories really lives within the time that you do it. Yeah, I love yoga. And there are some very strenuous movements in yoga that you can feel later on because the time under tension with the muscles, it definitely has some longevity to it. However, most of that burn stays within the hour of the yoga. The first 2/3 of our workout stays within the first 2/3 of the workout. You're in that fat burning zone. You're there. Your body's not too stressed. It's not too hard. a lot of the women hold a conversation. They're like, this is crazy. Look at me, and then we get off and we do what I love is we grab gloves, we grab pads, we throw punches. I work on form because I do believe that form is so important in throwing a punch. I also have, I'm built like a centaur. So it's like I use my thighs for my movement, and I really like to teach women how throwing a punch is a full body movement. And it's a lot of fun. I mean, we had women out there who were saying like, do it for the laundry, that load you have to get done today. And, they were talking about things that were personal, but that's what I found in kickboxing classes. When you're in a high intensity, you're coming off of work or you're starting off your day, a lot of the times they'll say like, leave it right here. Whatever it is you're worried about, whatever you're thinking about, punch that bag. How many times a day do you get to punch something? Punch it, kick it, do it right, but leave it here. Leave it here. And that, Maya, is a very long answer to what the course is. I teach, and one of the reasons that I do it at the park for free is because I'm really looking to build that female community. I would love for as many women as possible who have never, ever done any kind of movement before to come out and play and have fun and feel great, and then transition into what I would like to build here is a private women's member community fitness place. So I call it Arena. There's a brilliant author called Brene Brown who she's the expert in vulnerability. And she has this quote about, and it's a quote, it's a derivative of a quote said by Roosevelt, and it was said by Twain, but basically it's like, look, if you're not in the arena getting bloody and sweaty and getting knocked down and getting back up, then I don't need your input. And so playing with the breath work, so it's AIREENA, an accompaniment to the movement, adding that little bit of masculinity with the femininity, I came up with Arena because I feel like, movement is that. When you know that you're doing the work works. So if you're showing up for yourself, if you're taking your supplements, if you're doing your daily movement, if you're meditating, if you're praying, if you're doing all the things that we know nowadays in 2024 that's super important to health, then the feedback and the input you're looking for is from fellow colleagues or peers or family members who understand that. I think Sarai and I had a great conversation outside of what supplements we're taking. We start our morning off with a protein mix, and it's like, yeah, that for me is so invigorating because that's a priority for me. I'm trying to live as long as I possibly can.
I love that. This whole thing is clearly such an experience. And as you're saying, it's for women of all experiences, or experience levels, I should say, fitness levels. And it just sounds like a lot of fun. I need to come out and try this for myself.
Oh my gosh, I just had a doctor appointment. Like, my little OBGYN. And she's down there and I'm like, no, you gotta come work out.
Everyone's
she's like,
invited.
Where? I'm like, you've got to do it. Jumping on a trampoline is so fun.
I love that. And it's super interesting. And I don't know if this is just for me now. I mean, I'm still very young, but trying to discover kind of fitness as a young adult, as how it has changed from, being a kid, I guess, being in school, and there's, school sports and whatnot. And now just kind of being out in the world, and how do I incorporate fitness and activity into my, day-to-day life? So this it's super interesting. And also again, maybe this is just more research that I've been doing, but I feel along with COVID and that whole thing, people became a lot more interested in their health and what they can do to better their health, and the whole side of men's versus women's fitness and what is best suited for the genders, because more research is showing that it is very different. All of the workout research, I guess you could say, data collected is from men, so primarily weightlifting and whatnot. But now there's, research showing that syncing your fitness with your menstrual cycle is very beneficial. So can we get more into that? Because to me, that is super interesting.
Thank you. Yes, of course. Here's the thing. Movement is magical no matter what it is. Walking outside near Bright Lake, waking up and getting fresh air. It's paramount for the body. We were talking about we're machines. Essentially, we were built and meant to move. And so there's any kind of movement you really want to do, I'm always just encouraging it. Just do it. 45 minutes of intentional movement. But the thing is we have a life that is more sedentary than ever before. Mm-hmm. That 45 minutes becomes really challenging. When you sit down at a computer, you sit down at a screen, you get into the zone, you pick up your phone, you're at another screen, you check in with social connections, you take a text message, you go into a meeting, you hop on a call. It's all very still and sedentary, done from a chair. Mm-hmm. So that 45 minutes becomes a little bit more of a challenge. And why we need, I think, as women, because I'll use my husband as an example, right? If something needs to be done around the house or the farm, if it's heavy, if it's hard, I actually like to call them boy chores. I'm like, hey, babe, men are naturally, they're a little bit more inclined to do the harder lifting. Sure. That harder lifting, that movement, those daily chores, it's a form of movement. It's a form of working out. Mm-hmm. We don't necessarily have that. Mm-hmm. But on the flip end, we do carry a lot of the stress load because our bodies are designed to go through ebbs and flows and waves, to carry babies, to, manage a lot of stuff that it's very stressful on the body. So the masculine and the femininity, while I think that it's important to have a balance, which is why I love to incorporate the weights with the movement, I do think that it's really important for women to realize that we have to be gradual or patient with ourselves in moving into these things, because when we trigger our hormones to release at a level that is beyond that of comfort or our regular zones, we can release it and our body doesn't know. Our body doesn't know, like, oh my gosh, Maya, you decided to go run a mile today. Our body goes like, oh no, oh no, release the cortisol. What are we doing? What are you doing? It doesn't, so it holds on to that stuff. Mm-hmm. And then we sit there and go, oh my God, I've been doing this for 4 weeks and I see no change. Right. And I'm more bloated and I'm holding on to things. So it's important that we find that balance. That's why I think that there's a getting into the zone. There's your warm up. There's the working out. There's the metabolic conditioning, which is basically getting your cardio or getting your heart into that rate that's a little bit off, but then also having the breath work and the cool down to bring it out of that zone with ease. And then I'm all about community. It was a lot more fun to play Red Rover or handball or tag with friends than it was by yourself. So
absolutely. And now, as you're teaching these classes free, by the way, if anybody didn't hear, free at Central Park, correct? Mm-hmm. And welcome for all. I'm curious to learn more about what you hope to do with establishing, kind of more of a permanent place. What sort of classes or opportunities would be offered there?
So one of the things that I've really identified in now being in a rural community is weather. And so the primary focus is taking my filmmaking expertise and coupling it with a place that when you sign up, it's like a club, like a country club. When you become a member, you'll also have an at-home kit. Mm-hmm. Now, it's not going to be as professional as the stuff that's inside of the gym, but you will have small weights so that when you're doing the boxing movement from home, you'll have a mini trampoline so that when you're doing the trampoline work, you'll have the ability to do so. So that way, when you can't drive on 202 because all of a sudden there's snow, you can chime in. So there will be a virtual element to the studio. I also really envision the studio being more like a spa, which isn't something that we necessarily. I love going to the places that make me feel something, so I think there's a difference when we walk into the smaller manicurist or pedicurist here in town, and they've really created this atmosphere. They've got their diffuser going and their reclining chair. I think that's different than going to the multiple chair one and you walk in and it's very airy and loud. So I find that for me is a lot better for fitness. I like being surrounded by mirrors so I can watch my form. I envision it having a playroom so that you can bring your kids. I'd like to have the program start as young as women as 14. Like I said, I was an athlete all my life, but I hated PE. However, I always joke because, I put on the freshman 15 in college. Like, I didn't necessarily know if I wasn't in a sport how to properly train. And I think that's important to our everyday lives.
Right.
And so really extending this to the high school community, to the mom community, to the farming community, but having a space for the women to kind of collectively move and do it with intention and have all the I like having a smoothie when I go work out. I want somebody else to make the smoothie for me. So
it makes it taste better.
Yes, it does. And I like having the little energy drinks that are clean. I also envision what I'd like to build here is not only a studio that offers this space for women to work out, but I would like to have it be a little bit of a community kind of, the build out would have extracurricular rooms so that people could rent them, so that it becomes just a small little mecca that you go to as a woman. And maybe you're like, I'm going to get my workout on, and then I'm going to get a mani-pedi. I'm going to use the steam room at Arena and, do my facial. So, I think we need that.
I think we do too. You're making me so excited right now. This is a dream come true. I would love that here.
I look like a gremlin 90% of the time up here. We have a farm. I'm always dirty. There's usually hay somewhere in my pocket. If it's between, doing my hair in the morning or making sure all the dogs are fed, I feed the dogs. So I like the ability to kind of escape my element and feel girly. And I just haven't found that here yet. And that was kind of the calling where I'm like, I haven't found it. So I guess I'm going to make it. And the more that I talk to other girls, they're like, or other women, they're like, I would love that. Let's do it. So,
That's awesome. And now you've been speaking a lot about the community aspect of it all. And I mean, of course, I think for most people, it's, in agreement that going to a workout class is a lot more fun than, going to the gym and weightlifting on your own. Some people may enjoy that kind of meditative being on your own thing. But when you have other people there with you to help encourage you, cheer you on sort of a thing, especially in a setting where it's all women too. Can you speak a bit to the importance of that and why you gear your classes that way?
Having been an athlete my whole life and then working in a more of a solo sport like martial arts, I have found that I have greater success with a group. I like to call them my fit fam. Be it they understand after a workout if I need to go eat a chicken, like I need protein. There are things that... And even right now, we're doing a free 30-day wellness challenge, right? So in the Arena 30-day wellness challenge, we have this group of women who are trying to not have more than 9 grams of sugar with a meal,
That's so tough.
It is. And it's so silly because 9 grams isn't a lot, but it is a lot. And it really kind of changes the meals. But then now we have this group where we're talking about it. And then somebody will say, well, hey, I'll hold you accountable to it. You want me to text you tomorrow and remind you? Or, hey, I found this trick, and we're sharing all of these things. You just thrive more. As an athlete, the sports where you look at the teams, the teams make a difference, that kind of camaraderie. I love the sisterhood. I love being a little competitive. I also like having, somebody that I can aspire to, somebody who inspires me. I love cute outfits. I'm going to go hit a bag for 30 minutes. Heck yeah, I want my sports bra and pants to match. And I want somebody to notice, These are the things that help me do it again. I wake up one day, I feel great, I work out, I do great. I was kind of I do teach classes at the Whiting Center in Bear Valley Springs. In the month of May, all of my classes will be free.
Awesome.
So you can actually come and just pay the outside membership if you're not a member of Bear Valley Spring, which I think is like $5. Or if you live in Bear Valley Springs, you can come to the class free and work out for the hour. I'm always changing it up. But I was looking for the community here. And that was kind of the invigorating thing about checking in with Tehachapi Parks and Recs, because they were like, what? Yeah, let's do it. Do you have a flyer? We'll post it. Let's move. We'll come to your class. This is awesome. So I do believe that there's a group here. I believe that there are women here that are looking for that. As soon as Arena is up and running, I'm going to have like cheerleaders at Walmart being like, come jump on trampolines and hit punching bags.
I love that. I love that. Now, Sarah E., you've been to one of these classes, correct?
Yes, I have.
Can you tell us a bit about it? First-hand experience. What was that like for you?
I was exhausted at the end. I too grew up being an athlete. My dad put me in soccer from the moment I started walking. So I've been playing soccer for years and years and years. And then after that, middle school didn't have sports for some reason. So I just did like my own sports thing. And then I just kept doing like my own thing. It was always on my own kind of situation. Even in college, they didn't have like much sports either. College was a whole different ballpark of my whole life, totally different. So again, my own thing, I would go to the gym on my own and whatnot. And I still do it. COVID hit, cancel my gym membership.
Yeah.
I have not one, but 2 rooms. I know, crazy, of gym materials in my house. Just one's a cardio, one's a weightlifting. I mean, it's awesome. But again, I'm alone. So me and my friend were like, hey, let's go to Arena. Let's see what this is all about. Oh my God. Like, I had different muscles hurting the next day. It was really fun though. I mean, it's you have an energy that just really inspires and motivates everyone on there.
Thank you.
So you're jumping for 45 seconds, and then you get off and immediately you pick up the weights and you're weightlifting for another 45 seconds, just back and forth, back and forth. And me being in TVRPD, there are sometimes I get phone calls or texts. So Rodes was like, no way you're working right now. And I'm like, I'm on my phone because my work needs me. So I was like, what was I doing? I think I was like stretching out my leg and holding my phone. It was a really cool yoga pose at that point. But it was a whole different experience just having someone catch me being on my phone while working out, where it's not just me. We're like, oh, well, I'm just changing a song in middle of a rep kind of deal. And then your weightlifting and the kickboxing part was my absolute favorite. I love kickboxing. So when we got to relieve all of our stress, me and my friend were just like, oh, just pretend I'm your enemy. So we just kept punching harder and harder and harder.
It slowly becomes this crescendo of giggles.
Yeah.
The women like start punching each other, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. So at the end, we're all drenched. And the next morning, me and my friend text each other, hey, you sore? Yeah, this part of my butt that I've like never thought would get sore is like super hurt right now. But it was super fun. I definitely want to do it again. I just got to find myself time. Like that's, I guess, the next biggest hinder is not only getting yourself to work out, but it's like finding the time because you have other obligations and whatnot to commit to. And then you have to work on getting that workout in.
I think that's what was, and I guess as women work out with me, you're just going to get to know, I'm a very intense person, and I take from my training and my coaches and kind of relay. My father was a drill sergeant. And so I'll say things like, in it to win it, like make time for your health or make time for your illness, show up and be present, like right here, right now, 45 minutes, when Sari was like, you gave me a hard time. I'm like, yeah, I know women are the queens of multitasking, but that's also part of being present, because if you think about sports, could you imagine like Jackie Joyner running and having her phone in her hand? Like you have to be, I have found that the times that I'm not present, and yes, I'm so guilty of it, I injure myself or I don't get the workout. I don't get the burn that I'm looking for. And of course, because my mind's not there, my body's not present, I'm not connected, and that's why I say, like, leave your laundry at home. Right now, we're going to hit this bag 30 times and just hit it with all you've got. It's funny because I bought all the equipment thinking I was going to jump into owning a studio and then said, okay, wait a second. I need to make sure that there's a desire here.
Right.
And so that's why I'm so grateful for the podcast, because I'm like, yeah, you know what? Go to the website, check it out, sign up. Right now, it's just me trying to, I've connected with a couple of wonderful women in the community who come out regularly and they're like, when it's here, I will teach. Because at Current, they're teaching in Palmdale or they're teaching classes in Lancaster. They're like, we don't have something like this. I also incorporate, so the bar on the trampoline allows me to do some bar. It allows me to do some Pilates. So when Sari was like talking about the booty, yeah, we hit the booty.
Oh, but I went the extra mile because you didn't have bars that day for everyone. So me and my friend were stuck without bars. So we're like fake riding a horse on the trampoline. We're like, oh my God, this is like an extra workout because you don't have anything to balance onto. But she saw our strength. She knew we could do it, and we didn't fly off the trampoline.
I love that you text each other the next day. You're like, are you feeling it? Yes, that's what I strive for. Soreness is a good thing.
Oh, I love being sore because then I know, like, okay, well, that really worked out. So let me find something else that I can do to work out these new muscles, and then I'll go back to it because I never want to do the same thing over and over again because you get used to it.
Yeah, exactly.
So no, this was a great workout.
Oh, thank you.
I love it. This sounds like so much fun. And where can people find you? What is your website? How can people sign up and all that fun
I have
stuff?
my personal website where I've done the coaching, and that's Rise with Rodes, Rodes. But Arena is where I'm really focusing the Tehachapi community. So that is AIREENA.com. And right now you can RSVP for classes. I keep the class updates on there. It links you out to a calendar, so it puts it on your calendar. If we get some freak snow, obviously it gets canceled, or hardcore rain. For a girl who's never really lived in snow, this is you guys, I bought boots that come up to my knees, and they're boots inside of boots, and they look like alien feet. Like they have like the tinfoil, because I remember the first time walking out, it was like 2 years ago when we had that really bad winter, and I stepped outside and it went up to my knee. The snow went inside of my socks. It was very like, never again.
Yeah, no, you and I are one and the same because I didn't grow up in the snow either. So like walking out, I was like, oh yeah, snow. I didn't have gloves. I didn't have I was wearing my Vans at that point. I'm like, oh my God, I am freezing. My hands were so red. My feet, I couldn't feel them anymore. So I get it. And we have a whole new phenomenon for us.
We have 4-wheel drive, and we got stuck and had to walk. And I was just like, okay, these are all mental notes that I'm taking. But so if we have weather, I keep it up to date. I'm also really, really blessed that the Tehachapi Mama group on Facebook, the really strong women's group, they're always posting the flyers for me. And I'm trying to right now facilitate a time to have a nutritionist do a free Zoom.
Oh, cool.
So that's the other intention, is that once the studio is built, I'll be able to offer really cool things for the community and for the members that teach you more about. I mean, I have friends, it's not necessarily my area of expertise, but I have friends who are talking all about your menstrual cycle and movement, and I have friends who are writing books about nutrition. And I'm like, hey, can you hop on and just talk about the difference between artificial sugar and real sugar? Hey, can we talk about clothing your food? It's stuff that I get to share in my classes, but for me, I'm about energy, pumping it up, getting you to go big and feel good afterwards. And then I think that it's important that we all kind of share our tools with each other. So that's the space I want to create.
I love that because there is so much more that goes into fitness than just working out. It is, obviously about having a good diet, but then it's like, where do you start with having a good diet? It's so nuanced. So there's so much more new research coming out nowadays about all sorts of things, artificial sugars, as you were saying, and protein, the benefits of eating high protein and all sorts of things. So very interesting. And sounds like this will be a wonderful resource for people to learn all about fitness and become healthy and hopefully extend their life, right?
Yeah. Well, I would love to create something here in Tehachapi that we can then take outside of Tehachapi to rural communities. I have several girlfriends who are living in Idaho, and they're like, no, we don't really have anything like that. We built this gym in our garage. We built this gym in our barn, And so to build something that is mindful of the community, of the homeschooling life, the motherhood life, the multi-job life, I think would be a real blessing here.
Yeah. And I think the idea of doing the kind of virtual classes as well is genius because, as you were saying, the weather here is insane, but also exactly along the same line of moms or women who work, random schedules. Going to the gym is easy to say, I can't get there today. But if you can just log on to your computer and join the class, oh my gosh, I feel like you would get so much more workouts in. It incentivizes you more to work out. So that is a really great idea.
I also think it'll hold you accountable.
Yeah.
I have a colleague, her name is Aubrey Renters, and she's a huge virtual fitness enthusiast instructor. She teaches these amazing classes, and her Zoom, she's like, everybody has to be on screen. And you're like, awesome. So I can't be on TikTok while I'm doing my hip bridges.
I love that. Well, Rodes, Sarah, anything else to add for anybody listening in regards to the classes or anything coming up?
You want to go first? Do you have anything?
We're aiming for every Saturday at 9 a.m. The month of May, the Bear Valley Springs, the Whiting Center should have a schedule up. I typically teach there Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, and then the last 2 weeks of May, I'll be doing full time. So there are lots of ways to introduce movement to your life, to ask questions. The website is arena.com. And hopefully we'll have something soon.
Awesome.
Well, I guess to tag along with Arena, I mean, if you're already on the Spring into Action Challenge,
yes,
definitely use that. You get a lot of steps in, which then turn into miles. So really rack up those mile points. Yesterday I did some calculations. We're well over 13,000 miles collectively.
Wow.
So the city, or all of Tehachapi, Golden Hills, Bear Valley, everyone is really moving. We're really going for it, and it's getting competitive.
Oh, it is.
Some people I found out are doing the Ironman. And oh my gosh, that's a whole new level of intensity training. City of Tehachapi just did the marathon out in Bakersfield. So we are really moving out there. And I'm really excited that everyone's on the move, but you can still join. The Spring into Action Challenge does end June 10th. But you can join up until June 10th. If you have some miles going on, just go onto TVRPD.org and click on challenge, and you can sign up directly on there.
Okay, so wait, tell me, what is the Spring into Challenge?
Oh, it's a fun challenge. So this challenge is you sign up from your phone to our challenge, again, tvrpd.org. And then you go on to our challenge section, and so there's 3 different sections of the challenge. You can either use it for walk/run, biking, or swimming. So you could do all those 3. You can do it solo, or you can do it as a team. So City of Tehachapi has a team. We have our team. There are all these teams. Shout out to Not Fast, Just Furious. I absolutely love your name.
I always crack up when I see that one.
I love it. So you can do any of those challenges. So it actually syncs up to your watch, or you can just use Apple Health or Samsung Health, and it'll rack up the miles points for you. So at the end of the day, I did walk those 4 miles. Let me put that in, and it'll track it for you. So every Monday I put out a leaderboard of the top 10 teams, the top 10 walkers/runners, cyclists, and swimmers. So you get all that calculation, and I feel like that drives more motivation. Like, oh, come on, my buddy's in the top 10 and I'm in the top 20. Oh, no. So they continue to walk and whatnot or do more things. So it's just a challenge to get out and do more and be on the move. Because I feel like once you have those calculations on there, or you see your friend or your family member above you, it motivates you like, no, I'm going to walk it. I'm going to go out and swim more to beat you.
How fun.
Yeah. So it's a fun competitive challenge. And at the end, we are doing some cool swag. No details on it just yet. But at the end, we will be giving out some new stuff. So it's a collaboration between us at TVRPD, the city of Tehachapi, and Tehachapi Valley Healthcare District. So we're all coming together and at the end, giving away some cool prizes.
That's very cool. Yeah. Awesome. I'm going to go sign up.
You should. It's been so fun, and it is so motivating. Like, just having conversations with seriously everyone here at City Hall that is signed up for the program. So it's always, oh, so-and-so is 5 miles ahead of me. I'm going to go out this weekend and make sure I walk 5 miles, or go on an extra long hike, or go on a run this morning, or ride my bike to work tomorrow. It has motivated all of us like crazy to get out and be more active. So I love that aspect of it all. I mean, I just had a conversation with one of our public works guys who was like, oh, I saw that you were catching up to me on the leaderboard, so I'm watching out. I'm like, no. But anyways, it's really fun. Would definitely recommend, just like how the classes are kind of an incentive and a motivator to get out and get active. This program is one as well.
Yeah, definitely. No, it's definitely challenging. I mean, I do it too. I mean,
is that why you're doing all the swimming?
Yes. Yeah, no, I'm shocked that I am third or second place for swimming.
Nice.
I'm not the strongest swimmer, but now that the pool's open, I'm really trying to go out and swim. So I'm on top. I typically just walk and run, and I'm like 20, 30 on there because I'm swimming more.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's super fun. But if I do see someone just like you, like on the leaderboard, who's above me just by like a mile, I get on my little treadmill that I use that's in front of my TV, and I'm like, okay, I'm just going to walk an extra mile and beat them for the day.
It's a nice little motivator. So again, TVRPD.org, if you still want to sign up. It's a great challenge, but you guys are going to do this kind of seasonally, right? Like each quarter?
Yeah. So every quarter. So after June 10th, I think we're starting it up June 18th. I'm really bad with dates when it comes that far out. But June 18th, it should be the next one for the summer season. And then after that will be the fall one. And then I'm going to call it something Christmassy one.
Okay.
So yeah, it'll be super fun. So definitely join in anytime you'd like.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Exciting. Yeah. Okay, guys. Well, I think that pretty well concludes on everything here. But anybody listening, if you have questions or want to get some more details, go to tvrpd.org, which you can also find more of Rodes information, or you can go to her website, airarena.com, and find all the information there to RSVP for the class. We've got one coming up Saturday, correct?
We do.
Okay, so hope to see everyone there. I'm tempted. I'm trying to decide.
Come on, Mike. You can do it. You can do it.
Do I go hiking this weekend, or do I go to a
do
class?
Both.
I can do both.
Yeah.
Okay, well, maybe I'll see you guys there. Sorry.
I'll be there.
All right, everybody. Any questions as well, you can always email us, media@TehachapiCityHall.com, or DM us on social media at City of Tehachapi on all social media platforms. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you back here next time.